arrested back again. I'm keeping up with this channel. That's my resolution for 2022. And I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me for so long. Those of you who are still popping up and watching the videos, thank you. It means a lot to me because I know in the past I've been lazy. And I know I've let this channel go for sometimes as much as 6 months at a time. And I think almost 2 years when I first started my school. I I really went through a hard time. Um, I started my school, and right when I started it, I also tried to do Patreon at the same time. It was kind of a bad idea because one of the things I offered in Patreon was to, I guess, be a senpai, to be a sensei no sensei. I don't know what you want to call it. I was going to help school people on getting their teaching job and Japan-based visa. Um, and I think I really bit off more than I could chew because I was starting a school at the same time. Now, guys, after those 2 years I took off, the whole school is paid off. Every single loan I had on everything in the school. And for the past year or so, things have really been looking up. I'm feeling more energetic, more upbeat, less kind of crushed by the depression, tears, and sweat and blood that goes into starting a new business. I guess today what I want to talk about is one of the worst things that happened to me when I first started the school. I blame somewhat myself for this happening because I just didn't think about it properly. When I offered that visa and teaching situation here in Japan, where I could, number one, I could sponsor your visa for a short time until you got your own job in Japan. I would teach you how to become a teacher that was accredited to teach here in Japan by bringing people into my school. I didn't pay them to be teachers, but I more or less let them do an internship and also sponsored their visa. And then, called around to all the people I knew who needed teachers and usually got them a job. I got three different people jobs. And then the fourth I say group, it was only like one person at a time. It wasn't like a massive amount of people came. But the fourth person who applied were a husband and a wife. And I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not allowed to like really get too personal with it because I had to settle with a lawyer over what happened. And when they came here, the wife went to the hospital for what she was complaining about, some sort of like pains in her stomach. At the time, they were here on a tourist visa. And when you come over on a tourist visa, I don't completely know how the insurance works in the country that they were from. I don't even want to give that information away. It was a Western country that speaks English, we'll put it that way. I don't know how much information I'm allowed to give out, so I'm being very careful here. But usually people don't have national health insurance, which is the insurance that we use here in Japan. If you're on a residential visa or you're on a citizenship visa, I guess, or you just become a citizen, you get national health insurance. So I'm under national health insurance. Mine is totally different from what these people had. And theirs had a deductible. And when she was in the hospital, the husband, who was kind of training at my school at the time, was kind of stressed out and being like, she needs to get this surgery while she's here in Japan. And it's not like America where our surgery bills and our medical bills are outrageous. But if it is sort of a sudden or emergency surgery, you usually do have some sort of insurance you need to pay in order to have that go down. But because they weren't using national health insurance, they had to use a deductible that was like $1,000 at the time. So I forked over $1,000 because he had told me that his insurance at the time would pay for the rest of it, but he had $1,000 deductible. Now in Japan, you rarely have a deductible unless it's like super major surgery. But I figured, well, I know they've got to be here on the tourist insurance, so that's way different. And he was like, I didn't bring $1,000 over to Japan, and that would take up more than half of what we came here to travel with, and we don't even know if we're going to get a job yet. So if I could borrow that, when my insurance pays me back, I'll pay you out of that. And I thought, okay, well, they're here on a 3-month visa at least. I think sometimes if you've got like a temporary work visa, that can be 6 months. So he had that amount of time to pay me back. And at the same time, like, it's hard to make a call when somebody's spouse is in the hospital and they're your employee, even if it is working just an internship. So, me feeling bad and worrying about the health of his wife, I gave him that $1,000, which would be about Juman in Japan money. Um, and sadly, the very next week, because I gave it to him on a Friday, I remember this, and he was going to report back on Monday to continue this. And I thought, well, I hold kind of the connection to all the jobs and everything. So, I mean, I'm sure he has to come back to keep getting the training in so that I can hook him up with a job so he can change his tourist visa to a work visa. Well, he never came back. Him and his wife disappeared. I called around to hospitals trying to look for them. They had pretty much run off with my money and used a insurance deductible and their health as, I guess, a ruse. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I really did pay for her to get some kind of surgery. From what I understood from him, it was some kind of gallbladder surgery. I don't really know a lot about gallbladder medical surgery or how that affects pain in your stomach or if there is even pain involved or what kind of surgery goes into that. I've only been to the hospital like 1 or 2 times in my entire life. So I just thought like, well, I don't want to see someone not cared for on their trip in Japan. And since I'm hosting them as an intern, I want to see them get proper health care. If he gets the job, he'll have national health insurance and money to pay me back. Or if he doesn't get the job, then he can at least pay me back when his insurance pays him back, because that would be definitely within 3 months, I would hope. Well, I never saw him again. And I didn't make up a contract. Part of me, I blame myself because I'm the one who lost the money. I should have written down a contract. I should have had him sign something. I should have been way more official with it. But I think what he got me with in the end was he was kind of putting like a time limit behind it, that like they need this so that she can get the surgery ASAP. I'm going to rush to the hospital and pay off the medical bill. And you usually really do. You just go straight to the hospital and pay. Not a lot of credit cards are usually involved and stuff in Japan. Japan is still very a money-based cash operation when it comes to hospital and medical bills. And I just thought, it's just more important that she gets the surgery if this is like, something that could lead to even worse medical problems. So I was put in a pinch to give him this money ASAP. And then he had the excuse of having to rush to the hospital to be with his wife and then disappear. And like the phone number he gave me didn't work. I had used it all the time that he was here before. His hostel didn't have him listed. He had given me like a fake hostel that he was at, or a hotel. Like it's one of those really cheap ones in Dobutsu and Maya where it's like, I think you can rent it as cheap as like $29 a night, which is really crazy cheap. And God, looking back on it now, I really do see like how dumb I was in trusting, and that really bummed me out. That put me in like a dark place. I shut down the Patreon after that. I didn't have the will or the motivation to continue through with it. And because I knew I wasn't like making the artwork or giving people visas or sponsoring anybody or doing internships, I didn't also want to collect money. So I shut it down, and I didn't collect anything more. I refunded everybody for that month who had um, donated. And I kind of just felt like I was like, I really failed. I should have never added this as a tier um, to my Patreon. But now, I've opened it back up again, and if you look at the tiers on it, it's way more manageable for me. First of all, I still do give advice and stuff like that for coming over to Japan if you're part of the management of it, especially if you're part of the one that lets you join there's a private Discord for just one. No matter what, you can join our Discord for free. Like I'll talk to you no matter what. The dollar a month will give you like personal videos from me of like kind of almost my life step by step of living in Japan, and like just things I have to go through, like updating my immigration papers, getting things like a citizenship for my kids and stuff like that, like all kinds of personal stuff. You'll get access to those videos and pictures that I'm drawing personally every month. But if you go to one more tier up where it's like $5, then it's like a one-on-one with you and me, and I help you like walk through the process of still getting your visa. Now, I don't think I'm up for sponsoring visas anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got pretty screwed over, and that kind of jaded my trust. I don't think all of you are out there to scam me. I mean, like I said, the first three people I brought through that program, they literally helped me at my school. I got them a visa, and then I also got them a job, and it worked out awesome for both of us. And I also, did a good favor for my friends, getting them a new worker who would take over, who had already been trained and not just coming into it as a greenskin. You know what I mean? But I can't add that anymore, unfortunately. I can't add the internship at my school. But there is a bunch of extra stuff that I did add, and I made the prices like crazy low. I made it like $1 just to join. And then $5 is like already tier two, and you get like the personal help from me in the private Discord where we can chat about you trying to get over here. The main reason I do make it $5 instead of one to talk to me about it is because I'm going to be honest with you. I do get a lot of silly questions sometimes with people being like, I want to be a doctor in Japan. How do I do it? And like, it's like, are you in medical school in America? And they're like, no, why? Like, you I think most of you understand why that's kind of silly to be asking. Um, you know, um, I have some people who want to do like manga or anime work, and yes, I do have connections to that, but I kind of want to check to make sure like they understand how hard it is to get into those industries. And then I have people who want to get into IT or computers or server management or just working for a Japanese corp. And I also feel like I need to be very clear and serious with them about some of the things that they're going to have beyond just their passion for technology. That there is going to be a certain level of Japanese you're going to need to have if you're going to work for a Japanese corporation. So that's the only reason I made that $5 to join the private Discord, because I want to make sure people are like really serious. Beyond that, there's a lot of other extra stuff. Um, the next step up, you're already allowed to request a video made about anything uh, on my channel, Unrested, or my Inksmith channel. I just put them both together. I'm not going to make two separate Patreons and be super greedy. Um, and then the next step up from there is like you literally come in there, you help me talk about the channel for right now, see what you want to see progress for update in. You get a comic strip that I'm doing every month. There's actually a game I'm even working on from Japan here. Yes, I finally got my hands on working on a game. I'm just doing the artwork for it though. I'm not programming. I've realized that programming is not my strength. So you'll actually be getting like a free video game too. It's horror based, so sorry if you don't like horror, but um, you also get like step-by-step instructions with the video you want to see made that helps you get to Japan for your personal goals. I make the video for you. So like sometimes when I get people asking me to come to Japan, they're like, well, what do I need? What papers do I need? Like, how do I get into this corporation? What do these kind of companies look for in someone? And if you're at the highest level, I'll literally make my channel have a step-by-step process to get you to where you want to go. And that's because there's a lot of people who want that, but they just don't even know how to ask, how to go about it, or they just don't realize how many steps there are to it. And I also don't know that people want to request to learn those kind of jobs in Japan or come to Japan for that situation. Or even I've had people ask to come to Japan to be like a monk. And it's like, I actually have a brother-in-law who is a Buddhist priest and owns his own temple. But if I don't know people want to come to Japan and do that, I'm not going to just start asking them, hey, like, can you tell me about what the process is to become a monk in Japan? Um, so those are things I've worked with people on in the past. But I feel like now when people are really serious, number one, I want to see them like dedicate themselves to getting over here, which is much easier than just someone hitting me up in the comments. I miss the comment and I never answer, and they never figure out like the first couple of steps, or they never get like that one little tidbit of information they need that they just want to ask somebody who lives in Japan. that puts them into a private chat room with me in Discord, and then we just talk one-on-one. It's not one where you have to like share questions with other people or take your time. Like literally message me and let's just talk and get you over here. And even the highest level, it's like we'll do a video call and everything, and I'll make sure you got everything in place. I'll even take a look over all of it, and we'll show you how to get things like My Number. Some people don't even know that Japan has their own version of a social security number called My Number, or they don't realize that there's more than one type of visa, or that their country has multiple different visas. They've only heard my story. So those are the types of things I want to open up more to people, but I also want to make sure when I am opening up that situation to people, they are serious about it. Um, I guess just take a look at it. If you do give me another chance with Patreon, I'm like incredibly grateful. It also, now that my school is fully paid off, I've got my students, I would like to dedicate way more time to just the channel. I don't need to do things like stand on the street and hand out flyers anymore. So what I'd like to do is use my Unrested channel and my Inksmith channel to try and do YouTube way more full time. And that includes things like, doing my artwork and stuff like that. Working on videos that you guys want to see, updating it not just once a month, but I would like to do weekly for the Unrested channel and go back to that documentary style where I do like the dark side of Japan videos, or actually go out into the street and interview people, but want to be able to buy something like a decent mic so when the wind's blowing, you're not just hearing like bursts of wind through my iPhone for a video. I'd like to make it way more professional and present you something better. But I don't think my wife would be okay if I started using my school money to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. But if that's something you're interested in seeing, or that's something you want more of in the future, just $1 a month would help me out loads. Before it was the same kind of way. I never made like a massive amount of money from Patreon, but I had probably like 25 or 50 people who did just $1 a month, and that made a massive difference in my life that let me keep updating my channels. If I could get back to that again, I would be so happy. So, if you just want to stay a viewer and subscribe, dude, thank you so much. That's already a massive help. If you've stuck with me for the however many years I've had this channel now, 10 plus years, thank you so much. You are awesome. If you're able to go one step further and be a patron too, I mean, you're like a super fan. I don't know how else I can thank you. No matter what, I'm going to put a Discord in here. The Discord's free. You don't need to be paying anything. I'm never going to make anybody pay anything to join a Discord. The only thing people would have to pay the dollar or whatever a month, or $5 a month, would be if they want to like just talk one-on-one really intensely to get them over here to Japan. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for giving this video a chance. Thank you for all the new people on my Inksmith channel. I just updated with a channel video that was about meeting the Yakuza for the first time. So there is even some Japan stuff over there if you want to check it out. I think I've got like 70 plus videos on there, and I'm about to hit 2,000 subscribers. It's reinvigorated me to be a YouTuber again. I feel like really good about this close community where I can talk to you guys who've been with it for a long time, and it feels so good. So thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the energy to do this again and really get into it again. All right. I'll talk to you guys real soon. I have been Unrested. Have a great rest of the day.